all better have 20%. Each of us candidates ought to have 20% of our own signatures. Mine is going to exceed 95%. You watch on May 30th what that is. So we are out there, and that, just like you, just like Billy, just like Mary, just like all of us up here, Barbara and Yahya, we are going door to door. We're doing a grassroots campaign. We're saying no to corporate America. We are saying yes to you, and we're going to bring democracy back to this nation and to our party.
I'm just curious why it took you so long to jump into the race.
Thank you. It's not how long it took, but where we're going to be at the end of this. We'll get it done. Look at our team here and join our team. And visit voteyahya.com to find out how we're going to get it done. Thank you.
Thank you.
And Matt, what are you doing different this time to make sure that, that you win?
That's a great question. No, thank you. I appreciate that. So, last time didn't go quite the way I was planning. But also, we had Martha McSally, who had like $8 bazillion. So that was a bit of an issue. But actually, more than that, though, I think it was, while I raised a pretty decent amount of funding, had some good commercials, that's great, but I spent a lot of my time in that cramped little windowless room, calling everyone that you could possibly call and fundraising. And that's something that none of us up here like to do, especially me. And ask my team, they'll tell you that. But this time around, it's a little bit different. It's a lot different, because I heard last time, great ads, we like a lot of the stuff you're saying, but like we want to see you more. And so, more house parties. Gabby Givers did like 100, 125 house parties in 2006. And that's maybe not my goal, but I'm going to do as many of those as I can possibly do. We've already done, I think, like a dozen or so far. And getting door to door myself, I'm doing way more of that this time than I did last time, and just really getting out there to more events. And so being present in the district and seeing everyone we can possibly see is my biggest priority.
All right.
And then if Barbara or Yahya wants any volunteers, anybody that's supporting my campaign, please sign theirs as well if you didn't, or if you need signatures, I would definitely help you out.
Remember, you can only sign one.
Yeah. No, if they want to help them get signatures, not sign.
I'm afraid that despite this lively discussion, our time with the candidates this evening is nearing an end. Now, each of them will give a brief closing statement. Please tell us something that you've learned about what makes Southern Arizona such a special place while you've been running for office, and how you see this race moving forward. And, Mary, you have 1 minute.
What I've learned in knocking on doors, talking to people, going to protests, going to issue forums, going out to breakfast with folks in the morning, calling people on the phone, a lot of interaction with people, is that people really, really care here for each other and for others. This really is a community that is compassionate and has empathy for others. And I am so pleased to see that. And I see that not only here in Tucson, I see it in Cochise County. There is so much energy in Cochise County to make sure that a progressive wins. And by progressive, I mean somebody who cares that everybody have health care, that everybody has quality education, that cares that the environment is good, it's clean, that it will be there for our future generations, that cares about our civil rights. So I am just so pleased that this community, CD2, Cochise County or Pima, that you really care for each other, and even for people you don't know. You have principles, you have passion, and you care about values. And I do think that this race is about values, not about money. because you're making it about values.
What have you learned about Southern Arizona? How do you see this race moving ahead?
I learned a lot my whole life. I was born and raised here. This is my community. There's a lot of things we need to do, and we need to be an example. But right now, there's an economic crisis going on. 8 out of 10 Americans live paycheck to paycheck. And in this district, I didn't know this, but I found out that almost 1 in 3 single-parent families are in poverty. So how do we alleviate that? Because that's the most immediate thing. And when I was talking to the people at the Economic Integrity Organization, founded by Karen Ulick, who he mentioned that I co-chaired for in 2009, I found out one of the biggest things we got to do is bring universal preschool here. It will alleviate that pressure on them. It will allow these kids to get a running start and get the education they need. We also have huge potential for solar power, and I found out at the constitutional law scholars at Westward Look, they're having a conversation, 48% of Arizona is federal land. It's interesting. That means that we can do some public-private partnerships to bring renewable energy, to make this the solar state it can be. And we can do that together. And we can be a leader in America and show them what a bordering district, how it can act with its neighbor, Mexico. Let's show them the kindness that Americans have. Let's show them the opportunity that we welcome to them to indulge in with us. Because we have room for everybody, and we are kind-hearted people. And that's what Tucson is, and that's what Cochise people, and that's what CD2 people all share in common. And it's not just us, it's everywhere in the world. We're all humanity. Let's take care of each other.
It's been an amazing ride, and the biggest thing that I want to say is that we're still not paying attention to some of the issues that people actually care about. There's a lot of small issues. In every single forum and debate, we haven't brought up Native American sovereignty, or sovereign lands. 25% of our state is Native American land. We need to make sure that they're safe and secure when we talk about climate change or water or solar. I stand with solar as well, but we need to talk about energy storage because that's the reality of solar. There's a lot of things that we need to talk about, and we need to have those open and honest conversations. And I try to do that every single day, like Mary, like Matt, like Bruce, like everybody's campaign. And that's what the future is going to be. Every single hour I spend online, live on video, talking to voters. I give you the open access that you wanted, that you want from your representative, and I'll continue to do that, even after this primary. It's going to be fun. Sometimes it gets lively, but those are the things that people ask for, is access and accountability. And that's the things that I want to focus on the rest of this. So, thanks.
Thank you all for being here tonight. Thank you, Dylan, for all of you coming here tonight. You know, what have I learned? I have learned that this old American here could get up one day and go to the FEC website. 3 minutes, I'm a candidate. Oh boy, what did I do? It's amazingly easy how you can change your life in a few clicks of your little mouse there. I actually still do use a mouse, you know. But I have to tell you something. Everything in my life, when people said, you can't do that, when they called me from Phoenix, from the Democratic organization, and said, excuse me, you can't just run for Congress. You never did anything before. And I said, the last time I needed your permission, I was 12 years old. It was my mother. So they weren't exactly what you could say inviting for me to be here. But me being me, that just lit the fire and made me run even faster. But here's what I've learned, and I learned this from my neighbors, and I said, what can I do when I get elected? Because I always think I'm there. That's the way my brain works. And they said, Barbara, please, I need a job. What am I going to do? I have to drive to California. I can't find work here. And when you hear this over and over and over again, they knew what I did in Cochise County. They knew what my partner and I did. And until she yes, I'm openly gay, died of cancer, I was left wandering, pretty much wandering the earth. So for me, this is personal. This is deeply, deeply personal. I cannot stand, it's in my very nature to see the hurt in people that there is now. And what I've learned is that many people are hurting in Cochise County, and other people don't seem to get that. And I hope maybe I'll spread a message. Maybe I won't make the ballot. I hope I do. Don't forget to sign. What I've learned is that we all want the same things, don't we really? When I talk to people, and somebody said to me, why can't we just have a community of people again? I don't know. Why can we not? So I long for that day. I grew up in a town just like It's a Wonderful Life. If you watch that movie, that's one of my favorite ones. Jimmy Stewart says at the end, no man is truly poor who has friends. And I am not poor today, even though I have the least money of anybody up here. But I have a heart that truly will go to work for you day one, for all the people of this district, every last one. That is what I want. That is what I bring to you, because I hear it all the time. And I want to say one thing. As a party, we need to wake up, and women come up to me all the time. They say, I believe in what you stand for. I believe in every single thing you say on this. I believe it. But I don't believe in abortion. Ladies and gentlemen, Democrats need to wake up. That's a bedroom issue. Let's give it back to the fundamentalists. Let's invite those people over because they want to come here, but they think we don't want them. I want them. It's not for me to tell you what to do with your body. That's the deepest thing any woman will ever make in her life, that decision. We have to, as Democrats, stop being so isolationist. I'm pro-life. I was pro-life before the word was pro-life. So I'm saying to you, we can win this, but we've got to bring in those folks to the race. Because the numbers, and I'm a numbers person, we're not going to do this without them. And I beg you, please talk to your neighbors, talk to your friends, talk, women, please, talk to your sisters. We welcome you. I welcome you. Everyone has a seat at my table. I can tell you that. That's the way it was in my family, and that's the way it is on my branch.
Thank you, Barbara.
Thank you very much. I appreciate all of you.
I wasn't going to run for office after my last election in 2016. My term ended in January of 17. But I've learned that too much is at risk. The very values that we cherish that have been with this nation since our founding and before are at stake. They literally are at stake. That's why I refer to Martin Luther King's 1963 speech repeatedly about the fierce urgency of now, where he says, tomorrow is today. And we have reached that point. You know, we are threatened with personal corruption from the Trump administration, climate denial, right-wing judges, tax cuts for the rich, cabinet heads destroying their own cabinets, shredding the truth, demeaning the office, targeting the laws that protect us, targeting Social Security and Medicare. I mean, this is existential. The fact that Trump administration pulled out of the Paris Climate Accords, you know, that didn't happen before when I was in office. That is an existential issue. That is a time-sensitive issue in which every day, every year that we wait, we are jeopardizing our Earth and our future generations. That's what I've learned, is the urgency of now, the fierce urgency of now, and that's why we have to exercise our vote. This election is not about how much money we've raised. I've mentioned that. Who's endorsed us? It's about you. It's always about you. Families across our land who demand a voice in Washington that represents our values. I have been elected to LD 10 3 times to the legislature. It entirely sits within the Congressional District 2. As a progressive in a swing district. I think that says something. That's why my children and my ex-wife, Liz, who is the treasurer of my campaign, I think that says something too, said, Bruce, you know how to do this, let's do it, we have to stand up to this. But it's not, as Naomi Klein says, no is not enough. We can't just say no to Trump. We have to say what we believe as Democrats and what we're going to do for this district and this country and for our planet. And I'll finish with this. Contrast Kurt Vonnegut's Requiem, where he talks about when the last living thing has died on account of us. And it ends with, they did not like it here. Contrast that with David Henry Thoreau's Walden, when he talks about preserving this planet as a canvas of our creativity. That's why I'm running. That's what's at stake. It's important. Thank you.
I knew this over 15 years ago when I met Southern Arizona during my interview process and fell in love in like a few hours. Canceled all my interviews for other residencies in any other part of the nation because I decided I was going to move here and make my life here. It truly is the people. I agree with what Mary has to say about that. Also Bisbee. Bisbee's amazing. But the people, they expect their representatives, their politicians, to work for them. Crazy, right? And listen to them. Maybe meet with them without having to pay them money. And I just don't see that. And a lot of people are frustrated about that. The Congress isn't working because the members of Congress and the president don't seem to understand that we are their employers, right? And we are seeking employment from you. And if whoever wins this primary, I suspect that person will also win the general. If that person does not show up for work or respond to your phone calls, what would you do if they were one of your employees in a small business? Exactly. So that's what the people expect in Southern Arizona, and that's something that I hope I can make happen, and I can really live up to the expectations of folks and actually pay attention. And the good thing is, in medicine, we treat everyone. There's no discrimination, men, women. Based on ability to pay? No, not in the ER for sure. Who you sleep with? None of that matters. We treat everybody, and that is a way that I think we have to approach all problems and work together in Congress, and that's what I promise to do.